This is the Garris residence. We're doing a quote for kind of like a yard cleanup and then also some irrigation repair items. So here in the backyard, starting with irrigation, that's the valve right there next to the pool utilities. There should be, it's not connected to the controller, which is in the garage, but when we were in the garage, we did see a wire that ran from the controller into basically the wall cavity right here, and there's some wires coming through. I'm not sure which one is the controller, but my best guess is that it's this one right here, but it actually just goes directly into the concrete, which is at some point that's gonna fail. But also I don't know where it comes out. I try to find it, so if we do find it during the cleanup, we are just gonna connect this wire to the controller in the garage, but I'll create a separate line item to put in a wireless battery powered controller just for that valve right there, because otherwise we have no way of connecting to the controller in the garage unless we run another wire, in which case we'd have to get through the concrete somehow right there. It would include or entail cutting the concrete. So I'll just provide an option to install a separate controller that's mobile, that's battery powered over there. The battery usually lasts 2 years, so it needs to be replaced once every 2 years. That's for the other item for the irrigation is the line right there. I did find quite a few leaks. My recommendation, because it's such a small area, instead of repairing those leaks, we would just run a new line to water the few plants that are over there, and that's it. There is a concern that the clients have this little there's a little fountain here. I just turned it off. It's suspected to have a leak. I did run it, and water did start showing up after about 10-15 minutes, but I also had the irrigation running as well, so I'm not sure entirely if it's coming from the fountain. But my problem is there's no obvious PVC leak that I could find. It has to be excavated, and if that's happening, I would recommend like a pool company to deal with that. I think we could replace the PVC, but if we have to dig out and maybe potentially replace the whole little fountain feature, that's going to be beyond what we can do. So I would just recommend off the bat to go with a pool company to deal with this fountain. But the drip irrigation, we could take care of that. As far as the cleanup goes, we need a little bit of pruning right there. The leaves here needs to be cleaned up. There's quite a few leaves along there. We'll pull out all the big weeds, and the rest, the smaller weeds that are smaller than a hand, we're gonna spray them with a weed killer. Let's see, that palm there technically needs to get pruned. We'll provide a separate line items to prune that palm. Some leaves here. The property does have dog waste, so we'll need to clean up the dog waste before we work so nobody steps in it. Walking over to the front, same thing with irrigation. We just need to wire up the valve that's right here on the side and install a new ratio controller, Wi-Fi controller. So this is the valve right here. The clients did say there was a leak as well here, so I could hear one leak over there. So any above ground leaks we're going to repair. I'll go and turn it off real quick. But yeah, the wires from here are running into the garage, and that's where we're going to install the new controller. There's some weeds that we need to take care of. Once again, anything larger than a hand, we're going to pull, and then smaller, we're going to spray. So a lot of these plants, basically everything in front right here is deciduous, so we need to trim down all the sages, all the roses. We're going to trim down. We're going to clean up this olive tree. These agapanthus, they're pretty much done for the year, so we're going to cut them all the way down. Looks like there's an oak tree here. I don't know if that's a volunteer or not, but we can cut it down. We won't be able to dig it out, but we can cut it down if the clients want us to cut it down. There are roses here, 1, 2, 3, and the clients asked us to replace. Oh, there's the leak right here. So quite a significant leak here that we need to find. Anything that's above ground, basically tubing repairs, we can do that. If we have to dig into the ground, if there's like a PVC leak, that's going to be a separate charge. But anything that's like, see this tubing right here, we're going to be able to repair that. That's going to be part of the job. This right here is a volunteer. We're going to include cutting this down, but we will check with the customer before we actually do it. We'll need to trim these bushes right here. Looks like a lot of them are pretty spent for the year, but we'll trim them to make them look fresh. All the leaves here we're gonna need to clean up. I already mentioned we're gonna replace these roses. The clients like white, red, and pink, so one for each. There's a dead plant right there. We're gonna remove that as well, and then put a rose in its place. Some leaves here. Okay, some very clear irrigation leak right here as well. So we need to find where that irrigation leak is and replace that. For the mulch, they do have the rubber mulch, but as you could see, like it leaves a lot of bare spots. It doesn't stay in place. I'm not sure. They did say they wanted the same type, so yeah, we'll look into just adding some more of the rubber mulch to kind of tidy this up. Spent plants like this. There's another dead rose right here. We're gonna replace this rose, so this makes 5 roses total. There's some nutsage weeds. We're gonna pull those weeds out. Trim those bushes. Weeds like this in the joints, we're gonna take care of that. All these weeds right here in the rocks, they're already dead. We can't really do much. We'll just go over with the rake and hopefully that'll dislodge most of it. And then we'll spray it just to make sure that it dies by springtime next year. Yeah, there's a clear water leak right here somewhere that we'll need to take care of. There's some sticking out edging material here. We'll go ahead and dig back and then install it. There's 2 spots right here. And let's see, I believe that is it. Yeah, so just a refresh on everything. Get it all ready for, spring next year. That's it.